Hello, everyone. Welcome to your full moon in Sagittarius Tarotscopes for your full moon on Saturday, June 3rd. It's a strawberry moon. We're going to talk all about it and how, of course, you can make the most of it. Sagittarius full moon. This is going to be a lot of fun, folks. A lot of fun indeed. So it's a full moon this Saturday in the free-spirited, adventuresome sign of Sagittarius. So the strawberry moon carries the energy of abundance, growth, and transformation. The universe opens up its bounty, mirroring the ripening and readiness of strawberries at this time. So be sure to eat your strawberries. As you're eating them, you can imagine that they're cleansing you. Fruit is a cleanser, indeed. And fruits and lots of foods have metaphysical properties, and strawberries align with Venus. So if you want more love in your life, more abundance, because Venus rules love as well as money, well, eat your strawberries with intention. That would be very wise to do. So the strawberry moon, it's a time of abundance and fulfillment. You'll want to embrace its energy and let go of anything heavy that's holding you back, because it's a full moon cycle, and full moons are all about completion, release, and letting go. So what is love flows, what is not goes. Sagittarius is the wanderer, it's the traveler, it's the philosopher. So you don't want to have anything heavy. You want to travel lightly on this path for sure. Hey, Gayla, nice to see you. So we're going to be doing general horoscopes, tarotscopes, using the whole house system. If you want to know where exactly the Sagittarius full moon is transiting in your chart and where there's likely to be a harvest, find out where 13 degrees of Sagittarius falls in your chart. That's where you're going to see a completion, right? And also a fulfillment. And where also you might want to just let go of anything holding you back. Likewise, listen to your sign and or rising sign in this video. You also are going to have this Sagittarius full moon, a square, which is a 90-degree angle between Jupiter and Taurus and Mars and Leo, which we're going to talk about in each of your tarotscopes. So there might be a little bit of finessing that needs to go on over the next 2 weeks from Saturday, June 3rd, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about how you can make the most of it. Hey, B-Mac, I'm excited you made it live too. Happy birthday. So your birthday's on Sunday. That's going to be awesome. Well, happy birthday. And let's talk all about it. So Aries, this strawberry full moon is lighting up your 9th house, house of expansion and growth and opportunity. And you want to embrace the wild spirit of Sagittarius and explore new territories. You might find yourself wanting to explore the world more. Maybe you'll book a trip to a faraway place, or maybe you'll expand your horizons. You'll learn something new, or do a deep dive into some philosophical or other subject. Law is actually a 9th house thing. So it's about expanding your worldview. Meanwhile, Jupiter is in your 2nd house this year, which is really nice. It's going to help your finances and also help you to appreciate yourself more, help you to express yourself more. Mars is currently in Leo, and it will be for this full moon cycle. So that's going to be igniting your passion. It's in your 5th house, Leo. So Mars is going to make you want to really express yourself and to have fun. It's a great time for romance, play, and enjoying your creativity. And if you have children, well, that Mars there is going to be firing them up. So you might need to give them some extra attention for sure. Likewise, it might be your creative projects that are being fired up. In any case, this is a very nice lunation for you, Aries. So let's see what wisdom the tarot has for you this full moon in Sagittarius. Wisdom for Aries. Wisdom for Aries. Knight of Cups. So this is a great card. The Knights are all about transition, and Cups are all about emotion. So you're going through an emotional transition during this time, which makes a lot of sense, right? With the Knight of Cups, you want to focus on your ideals. So in life, right, we get what we concentrate on. There's no other main rule. So just do what you can to focus on the best case scenarios. Don't say, oh, well, the worst thing that could happen is this, because that's like pre-paving it. So you don't want to tap into that timeline. You want to focus on all the great things that could go well. Say you want something and there is a chance it might not work out. Sure. Well, consider alternatives that are just as good, right? That are also very, very favorable. So Knight of Cups, focus on your emotional ideal. You may want to let the spirit of romance come into your life. You could romanticize things in terms of love. You could romanticize things in terms of money, creativity. Again, those best case scenarios, because the Knight of Cups is a high flyer for sure. So enjoy your full moon, Aries, this 9th house transit. Taurus, well, this full moon is transiting your 8th house. Dun, 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 dun. So this is a bit of a letting go for you. You're going to have to let go and let God a little bit. But also, the 8th house is all about boundaries. Like, which ones are you setting? Where are you saying no? And which ones are you dissolving? Where are you opening up more, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, allowing yourself to share? So this is going to bring transformation for you. It's a big deal for you this year anyway, because you got Jupiter in your sign. That's expanding your self-awareness. Meanwhile, Mars is in Leo, and that is in your domestic sector in your chart. So home life might be a little wild, a little rambunctious, a little bit active. You might be renovating. There's just activity most likely going on in your home life. So because this is a square between you and your sign, because Jupiter is in your sign and your home life, you got to balance your personal growth with domestic harmony. You can really shape your journey with this, actually, because the more emotional security you have, the better you feel inside, the more emotionally at home you feel within the self, the higher you'll be able to climb professionally, the more you'll be able to achieve all around, financially, emotionally, personally, professionally. So focus on that self-growth for sure. And let's see, Taurus, what wisdom you get from the tarot this full moon in Sagittarius. Wisdom for Taurus that will help you this strawberry moon. Wisdom for Taurus. Wisdom for Taurus. Oh boy. So you got 8 of Wands. So the astrological correspondence to 8 of Wands is actually Mercury, the planet of communication in Sagittarius, where this full moon is this weekend. So the advice here is to strike while the iron is hot. Sometimes when you get on a roll and you have a win, then there's another win and another win and another win. So if things are going your way and luck is on your side, well, keep making moves. Take some action. This card is really advising you to be really clear, direct, and wrap things up. Wrap things up, finalize things. And you also, with this card, you might be traveling by flight. And also with this card, it's interesting. It is a love at first sight card. Things taking off very, very quickly, just like an airplane, just like your love life. So this is a time of conclusion. Taurus, definitely go fast when you're feeling that when you're feeling yourself, when you're feeling like, oh, this is good. I'm in a good space right now. You're very intuitive, Taurus. So just tap into your feelings. Are you feeling lucky? And if so, go for it. make your conclusions. Hey, Haley, nice to see you. Happy Sagittarius full moon this weekend. Let's see. Gemini. So Gemini, this full moon in Sagittarius is, of course, hitting your 7th house because Sagittarius is your opposite sign. So it's all about relationships. This Sagittarius full moon is going to highlight your partnerships, all of your partnerships, your personal partnerships, like your hubby or your wifey or your significant other. And it also could be your business partners. It also could be those long-term relationships that you have, like your best friend forever, long-term relationships. Also consultants. If you're looking for a new therapist or a new gardener or whatever, then you'll be able to find one this full moon most likely. It also is a time of letting go. So, I mean, truth be told, you might be letting go of a partner, being like, yeah, this is not working for me anymore. In any case, express your gratitude for those that you have in your life. Definitely show up for them during this time. You got Jupiter in your 12th of the subconscious, your 12th house of the subconscious. So your subconscious mind is really, really alive right now. And you can make a lot of gains, Gemini, by impressing upon your subconscious what you believe, what you want to believe is true. And you got Mars hitting your 3rd house. So Gemini, you got to watch your mouth. You got Mars in the 3rd. So remember, you can't unring a bell. Also, with that energy in the 12th house, definitely make sure that you're not responding to something that is innocuous. And what I mean by that is the 12th house essentially is being stirred up right now. And that's your subconscious, which has to do with old paradigms, old stories, things that are no longer relevant, right? Old trauma, stuff like that, that might put you on high alert. Because it's making a square with your 3rd house, you might say something that is completely inappropriate. You might see something that's not really there. Okay. So the positive aspect of this is if you have impressed upon your subconscious what you want and you've seen yourself doing it, you're going to be able to communicate in such a way that leads you to the realization of your goals. Definitely want to utilize Jupiter this year in your 12th by focusing on what it is that you want, maybe impressing upon your subconscious what you want via affirmations, affirmations, self-hypnosis, meditation, visualization, scripting, all of that stuff. And also with that Mars in your 3rd house, this could be a very creative time for you as well, because you're known to be writers, right? Just make sure in terms of communication, you got to be careful with that square because you might let something slip that's a secret because it's a square between your 12th and your 3rd. So let's see, Gemini, what wisdom you get for your full moon in Sagittarius, your strawberry moon. Wisdom for Gemini. Wisdom for Gemini. Wisdom for Gemini. Okay. The Hierophant. So this is cool. You got Jupiter and Taurus this year. So the Hierophant really is all about shared values. You may want to tap into group consciousness. There might be a group of people that could be really, really good for you, especially in light of finding a new partner. Say you're looking for a new partner. You want to move forward with a partner. There might be some kind of group that you could join. This also could be like going to a trusted person. Maybe it's like a pastor, or maybe it's a counselor or whatever. That might actually help you, because the Hierophant is all about doing the right thing and following your values and making your life very value oriented. So the Taurus energy, which is ruled by the Hierophant, is all about determining your values. And then Gemini, your sign, is about making choices. So you may want to identify with some kind of group during this period. With the Hierophant as well, there might be some institution that could be really good for you, some club. And also, you know, if you're working, it's a matter of really tapping into the mores that are in your company's culture, right? Or what really makes sense for you, what values make sense for you, and what groups can help you achieve value fulfillment, which is what happiness is. So enjoy your full moon in Sagittarius, Gemini. Cancer, your strawberry moon is going to light up your 6th house. So it's all about getting your life to run like a well-oiled machine. The 6th house is what we do day in and day out, right? It's our exercise, it's our eating habits, it's our work life, it's our social commitments. It's what you do on a regular basis, your habits. So you want to make sure that you have the right combination of things in your life that are making you well and happy. Maybe you actually need to socialize more. Maybe you need to go out and play, or maybe you need to exercise, or maybe you need to find a new job, right? This is probably going to be a full moon that's going to bring some matter in terms of your day-to-day life, perhaps work, to a head, right? There's going to be a light that's shining there in terms of your 6th house, your day-to-day protocol. Fall in love with your process. That is really important. The more you can fall in love with your process, the easier everything's going to be. Meanwhile, Cancer, Jupiter, planet of luck and expansion, is hitting your 11th house. And your 11th house has to do with your community, your groups, your friends of like-minded individuals, those people who see things the way you see them. And really, the 11th house also has to do with your hopes, dreams, wishes, and goals. So you can find a community, and that's going to help you achieve your ideals. So your ideals are expanding now, Cancer. Your groups might be expanding as well. Meanwhile, Mars is in your 2nd house, okay? So the thing is, you want to make sure you're balancing your hopes, dreams, and ideals with a wealth mindset. And I think with Mars in the 2nd, the problem with Mars in the 2nd is that it can burn a hole in our pockets, right? You have all these ideals that are going on. Jupiter is hitting your 11th house. You have all these like plans most likely this year, right? And with Mars in your 2nd, though, you don't want to go beyond your stretch financially. You don't want to create what Abraham Hicks would call is a wobble. So like, sure, you might be able to afford that Rolls Royce, but is it going to put you in a precarious position to afford the other luxuries that you might want? So watch out for that wobble. Don't do anything financially that could put you in a compromising position or make you feel tight. Granted, you want to go after your hopes, dreams, wishes, and goals, but you don't need to spend a fortune to do that. So just keep that in mind with Mars in your 2nd, which can burn a hole in our pockets at times, Cancer. You guys are so security oriented, it's probably not going to be an issue, but just in case. So Cancer, let's see what wisdom you get from the tarot this full moon in Sagittarius this weekend. Wisdom for Cancer, wisdom for Cancer, wisdom for Cancer. Queen of Swords. Okay, so Queen of Swords is the cool, intelligent woman in life as an archetype. She's alone in life. She's usually a divorcee, or she's just alone or highly independent anyway, right? So this archetype really is all about being astute, calling things out, being really intelligent, right? And it's about understanding your internal sense of confidence when it comes to your intelligence, right? I think of like Judge Judy, right? She's very Queen of Swords. She's like, you know, what is it? She says, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining, right? So this card would suggest that you need to be sure to call out things that you know are BS, right? Definitely allow yourself to call anything out that you know is not quite what it might seem. People who might be lying, people who might be giving you the runaround, stuff like that. Queen of Swords is also just about developing your inner confidence when it comes to your intelligence. So you might be working on a project. I think in terms of work, it'll be important for you to be really sharp and shrewd and really non-emotional. Queen of Swords, all the swords, but especially especially the King of Swords, but also the Queen. There's a sort of lawyer, disimpassioned aspect to the archetype. So be smart, be efficient, call things out, and keep cool, right? And I also think with Queen of Swords, this might be suggesting, by confronting your fear of being alone, you're not going to make decisions based on fear of being alone, which is going to help all your relationships. So be shrewd, be astute, Cancer, and enjoy your full moon in Sagittarius. Leo. Well, Leo, your strawberry moon is hitting your 5th house. That's your house. The house your sign rules. So this is going to be a great time of creativity, romance, personal self-expression. It's time to let your inner child shine. Be sure to have fun and play, right? Express yourself. Just enjoy yourself. The 5th house is things that we really, really love. So you might be making space this full moon. So new things in your life that you really, really love have more of your time and energy. Meanwhile, Leo, Jupiter, you got in your 10th house. And that is your career house. So your career is ready to expand. And it's going to expand this year. So you may want to get yourself ready and wrap things up. Like, what do you want to focus on professionally? Where do you want to be in 5 years? The 10th house does have to do with long-term plans. So what is your career trajectory? You can actually make some major strides this year. So be sure to focus on the long-term ideals for yourself professionally and let your path reveal itself. Plan what it is that you want to achieve and work your plan. It might mean making some sacrifices. Maybe if you want to switch careers, for instance, you might have to start on the ground floor. But again, with Jupiter in your 10th, if you're going to make some career moves, this is the year for you to do so. You also have Mars in your sign, which is pretty awesome. Having Mars in your sign is so cool. It's so great. You get so much more energy. If you work out, you'll be able to work out a lot more, and you'll be able to handle all your tasks and your duties. Mars in the 1st is brilliant. It's really, really great. The problem with Mars in the 1st, it can make you a little bit pugnacious and punchy and maybe overly assertive. And with Jupiter in your 10th house, making a square to that Mars, you got to make sure that you don't say anything in a professional context that could get you in trouble, right? So have a mode of self-expression to express yourself, but loose lips sink ships. And if you feel upset about something, definitely cool down. You don't want to mess up Jupiter in your 10th house in your career sector this year because you're feeling so fiery with Mars in your house of identity. So let's see, Leo, what wisdom you get from the tarot this full moon in Sagittarius. Wisdom for Leo. What's going to help Leo? Okay. 10 of Wands. So the 10 of Wands is full of fire, right? This is a lot of fire. This is actually Saturn in Sagittarius. So it's another Sagittarius card. You want to drop the load. Like there seems to be with this card, something that is just making you feel like this tremendous amount of pressure. You're a fire sign, Leo, so you kind of work well under pressure. Sagittarius does too. Aries does as well. So you might want to determine what load you're carrying that is unnecessary. Are you overdoing it? Are you trying to be like the hero? Because the full moon in Sagittarius, it's all about letting go. So you don't want to hold on to things that feel oppressive. If you're also taking the lion's share of responsibility in some area of your life, like your relationship, this might be a full moon in which you're balancing things. You're like, yeah, this isn't working out. I'm doing all the work here and you're not. So maybe call people out. Again, you got Mars in your 1st. So make diplomacy your watchword. And also look at, are you just in the habit of overdoing it, of being oppressed? Are you addicted on a subconscious level to having this tremendous amount of pressure on you? Because you create your reality. Why would you have created a really high pressure situation for yourself, right? Because you might be used to it. So this is a full moon in which you can drop the load, lighten your load, and have a lot of fun. So don't put too much pressure on yourself, Leo, and drop whatever is heavy for sure, and have a happy full moon. So Virgo, you got this strawberry moon hitting your 4th house of home, family, and emotional security. That's pretty cool. So this is a really great time. I don't think I need to tell you, Virgo, to declutter. But hey, who knows? It is a really great time to declutter your house, clean out your closet, maybe make some changes to your home environment. In fact, you might be wrapping up a cycle domestically. Maybe you're mending fences with a relative, or maybe you are looking for a new abode, right? But there's something pertaining to your emotional security, what makes you feel at home within yourself, that is being illuminated. You're going to find out this full moon what you need to feel really at home and yummy within the self. So do whatever it is that you can to really look and see what is undermining your sense of emotional security. It could be a matter of, on a relationship front, maybe you're getting picked on, or maybe you feel as if you're doing all the work, or maybe you're feeling like there's an imbalance or whatever. But you don't want to let yourself be undermined by other people. Also, it might be the opposite. It might be a matter of you need to give more to balance things out. You might have a sense of guilt around you because somebody else is doing all the work. Meanwhile, you got Jupiter in your 9th house. So you are this year really expanding. You're growing, you're learning, you're evolving, you're advancing. You might find yourself really wanting to go on a trip, or you might find yourself wanting to really expand your horizons with a class or going back to school. But also, you got Mars right now in your 12th house. Now, Mars is the planet of war and aggression. Your 12th house is your subconscious. So your subconscious mind right now, it might be like crazy town, right? You might have really, really weird dreams, and, you might be worrying a lot. So you want to utilize that Mars to seek out any self-limiting beliefs or any thoughts that don't feel good and just wipe them out. Just be disciplined with yourself and make sure that if you're having a thought that doesn't feel good, to pivot, right? Also, if there's something that's going on in your life that's driving you bonkers and really upsetting you, do what you can to get off the subject, right? And ask yourself, okay, well, why would I have created this in my life? What do I believe about myself that would put me in this situation? And then use that Mars in your 12th to get it out of there, right? Additionally, it's a matter of you have all of this adventure, right? With Jupiter in your 9th house. You want to go on an adventure. You want to explore. You want to expand. You want to grow. But with Mars in your 12th, you also need to make sure that you're prioritizing peace of mind. Making peace of mind your only goal is a really good thing. Also, with Mars in your 12th, your mind is working overtime. So you might need some extra rest, extra sleep. You might want to get a dream journal during this time to suss out any self-limiting beliefs, because we get in life what we subconsciously believe that we are. So a good rule of thumb is to consider somebody who has what you want, and then also think, well, what beliefs do they have about themselves that have allowed them to manifest it? So let's see, Virgo, what wisdom you get from the tarot this full moon in Sagittarius. Full moon in Sagittarius. Wisdom for Virgo. Wisdom for Virgo. Wisdom for Virgo. Virgo. Wisdom for Virgo. Wisdom for Virgo. Wisdom for Virgo. Queen of Cups. This is great. So the Queen of Cups, queens always have to do with an internal change or an internal focus, and cups have to do with the emotions, right? So this is about you feeling really at home within yourself, really looking at your sense of emotional integrity. How do you really feel about this situation, especially in matters pertaining to your home and what you need to increase your sense of emotional security? When you have that sense of emotional security, when you feel unconditionally loved and insulated by outside forces, and that's what this new moon is for you is about, you're going to be able to go further, right? It's very much about self-trust, this full moon for you, because it's hitting your fourth. And this card is very much all about self-trust. It's also about being emotionally honest. So when you look into a body of water, you see your reflection. And the same thing with her, Queen of Cups. When you look at Queen of Cups, you see yourself, because she's so honest and she reflects like water. So in your relationships, you might want to reflect back to the person what it is that you're seeing. You may want to be honest with how they make you feel or what changes would be great that would add to your sense of emotional security. Yeah, the Queen of Cups is a great card. So queens are in the Tower are throned on the 3. So this is also a great time for you to celebrate. It could be a matter of going to parties, functions, stuff like that. That could be really cool. So enjoy your full moon. We are halfway through our Tarotscopes, folks. If you could do me a favor and like and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, that would be amazing. Like this video, mount that like button. And that's what Sagittarians love to do. They like to mount, metaphorically. So mount the like button for me and even share, because sharing is caring. You could share this video as well. Hey, Casmar, nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. You're a Leo. Very good. Well, you have some fun times coming up. It's going to be a fun full moon for you, for sure. Libra. So you're strawberry moon, Libra. And you love strawberries, Libra. You're Venus ruled, and so is strawberries. The full moon in Sagittarius is hitting your 3rd house of communications. So this is all about your learning, your mindset, your day-to-day activities. You want to express your thoughts and also connect with your community, because the 3rd house has to do with socializing too, and you can be very, very social. Meanwhile, you got Jupiter, planet of luck, growth, and expansion in your 8th house. So you're going to actually make a lot of strides this year when it comes to the sharing of resources that you have with other people, also intimacy, and also boundaries. Like, you're going to gain this year by setting boundaries or dissolving boundaries. If something makes you feel good, you dissolve the boundary and you move in closer. If something makes you feel bad, you erect a boundary and you say no, right? So there's yeses and nos, and that's really the key for you this year. What feels good, keep doing it. What feels bad, stop. Don't let your boundaries be trampled on. Meanwhile, you got Mars, planet of action, drive, and initiative in your 11th house, which pertains to your friends, your community, groups of like-minded people who see things the way you see them. And this is really, really cool. So you might have all these ideas of like, I want to do this and I can do this. A lot of great plans for the future. And you also might be really focused on your network and your community and your friends. There's a lot of activity going on there. So it's really a matter of making sure with this square that we have this full moon and its 2-week period afterwards from June 3rd, in those 2 weeks, it's really all about balancing your personal growth and your evolution and your advancement with your friendships. Sometimes we grow and we don't always connect with the same people, and that's fine, but you want to balance it and you want to also be honest, right? So there are some people that you're just not jibing with anymore. Well, maybe you let them go. Or maybe it's a matter of you explain to your friends, like, well, I'm going through a transition. I'm feeling definitely different lately, and maybe explain, right? But there needs to be some kind of balance between your friendships and your hopes and your dreams and your wishes, and also this letting go transformative process that you're currently in. So let's see, Libra. And maybe your hopes and your dreams are changing because you're going through this rebirth. That could very well be the case as well. Let's see, Libra, what wisdom you get from the tarot for their full moon in Sagittarius this weekend. Wisdom for Libra wisdom, Libra. Wisdom for Libra. Wisdom for Libra. Wisdom. Well, look here. And how funny. This is actually the card that fell on the floor. So this is definitely your card, Libra. The Sun card is really very, very positive. It's the most high energy card in the deck. And it really is the best of everything. You have a brand new beginning with the Sun card. It's the best situation in terms of business, relationships, sex, fun, play. It's the spiritual birthday. So this is a wonderful new beginning for you, this full moon. It makes a lot of sense. I think the advice with the Sun is to ask yourself how you would feel if you were the Sun, or if you were a sun god or a sun goddess. You would feel bright and sparkling and profoundly sure of your power. And also you'd shine on everyone, right? The Sun doesn't discriminate. So love the world and the world will love you, and enjoy this new beginning. I think that's so cool. So happy full moon in Sagittarius, Libra. Scorpio. Well, your full moon in Sagittarius is hitting your money sector, finances, and your self-worth. That's pretty awesome. So you might be reaching a culmination in terms of finances. You might be getting some big checks coming up if you've been waiting for money to come in. This could be the big pop that makes things happen for you financially. It also might be a time for you to weed out whatever might be undermining your self-worth. That's also a second house thing. And obviously there's a parallel between how much you value yourself and how much you are valued. Life is a mirror. So if you are not valuing yourself, then you might not be getting paid what you're worth. If you are valuing yourself, you will. So you're going to be weeding out anything that undermines your self-worth, right? Appreciate yourself. Appreciate your contribution. Meanwhile, Jupiter, planet of luck and expansion, is in your 7th house. Jupiter's in Taurus. So your partners might be doing really, really well. Your long-term partners, they might be really just succeeding and growing. So you want to keep up with that, right? You want to keep up with your partners that might be growing. Also, you might be very, very lucky right now when it comes to your partners. If you're looking for love, well, you will be able to find someone, most likely with Jupiter in your 7th. Hey, Gayla, nice to see you. Thank you for your chat, and it's pounds. So that's British. I like that. That's even better for us American. Thank you very much for your super chat. Why are all your money issues are so spot on? Oh, because you're a Scorpio. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe there's something to this stuff after all. Could be. So there's some really good things with your partners. If you're looking for a long-term relationship, and again, it's not just romantic, but a long-term partnership. The best doctor, the best dentist, the best secretary, the best psychic, the best therapist, whatever. Meanwhile, you got Mars in your 10th house. So Mars in your 10th, that's making you highly ambitious. In fact, I mean, truth be told, I think you guys are ambitious, more ambitious than even Capricorn. You know why? I think Scorpio is more ambitious than Capricorn because Capricorn is more conservative, and Scorpio, they're not afraid of death. They're like, no, I'll die for this if I want it that badly. So Scorpio, you're very ambitious, and with Mars in your 10th, you're going to be even more ambitious. The issue is that this full moon, we have a square going on between your 7th house with Jupiter and Taurus, and also your 10th house with Mars and Leo. So what does this mean? This means that there might be some kind of conflict between your relationships and your ambition. This could be very easily you spending a lot of time at work, and then your honey being like, you're going again, you're still working, don't we have plans? Stuff like that. Also, if you're looking to be fulfilled in your relationships, work might be taking its toll on you. So do whatever you can to balance that for sure. Hey, Great Talon. Nice to see you. We're not doing any specific questions, but I do appreciate the super chat. But next week for sure. So, additionally, let's see, Scorpio, what you get for your full moon in Sagittarius Wisdom. What tarot card do you get for that? Wisdom for Scorpio. Wisdom for Scorpio. Gray, I'll make sure that you don't have to pay next week. All right. I'll keep that in mind. I'm going to actually screenshot that right now. Because you're in my brain. You got to remember these things. All right. Additionally, Scorpio, let's see what card you get. Wisdom for Scorpio. The Wheel of Fortune. Well, this is an awfully lucky card for you. So the Wheel of Fortune, it's all about cycles, right? And life is very cyclic. So there might be a closing of a cycle. There might be a beginning of a cycle, a repeating of a cycle. So look at your cycles, right? Things are very cyclic in life. So this is a time in which destiny is speeding up. So when you get the Wheel of Fortune, you don't want to be tossed about by like the winds of fate, right? You want to stay centered at the hub of the wheel, and you want to look at your destiny and be like, okay, well, this is a shit period. If it is, I'm going to hold off and like wait. Or it's a matter of things are going my way. Things are going my way. There's an opportunity there, and then you jump on the wheel, right? And you grab your opportunities. You take those chances. You take those risks. Scorpio, you're very, very intuitive. You know when things are going your way, when the tide has turned. So I think with the Wheel of Fortune, it's a matter of there are cycles that are changing, that are evolving, but trust your intuition. And if you're feeling like you're lucky or that this is your time, make your moves. But if you're feeling like, I might need to sit this one out, or it's not my time right now, things are not feeling great, well, use that to take a beat, right? Take that time to focus on other areas. But the Wheel of Fortune is pretty awesome. Indeed. Let's see here. Sagittarius, you're the big star of this full moon, of course. This strawberry full moon is hitting your first house of identity, so it's all about your personality. And it's time for you to celebrate yourself, and also making adjustments to your personality. Again, that full moon, it's all about releasing and letting go. What is love flows, what is not goes, and your first house has to do with your personality. So maybe there's going to be something in your personality you're going to drop off. Maybe you're a people pleaser and you're going to drop that off. Or maybe you're going to assert yourself more. Or maybe you're going to develop your identity as an artist, whatever it might be, right? But this is a time for you to celebrate you and all you've achieved. You've done a lot. This is your moment to actually say, oh, wow, look what I created. Look what I manifested, right? Which is going to be awesome. And it's also a time for you to set new goals for the future. Meanwhile, you got Jupiter in your 6th house. So work is going to be plentiful. You're probably not going to have to worry about work. It's a good problem to have, but the issue with that is you also have Mars in your 9th. So you're like, oh, I really, really want to expand, or I want to travel, or I want to learn, or I want to grow. And yet your day-to-day regime, your day-to-day lifestyle is extremely, well, it's fulfilling right now for sure, or not fulfilling, but it's full rather. So your day-to-day life, your work, there's a lot going on, right? And how do you balance that with adventure and how do you balance that with adventure and expanding your mind, right? So we're going to find out what you need to do, how you can balance work and adventure with a tarot reading for you as well. Thank you very much, Haley. I appreciate your super chat. That's very generous for you. Yay for Libra, indeed. So let's see, Sagittarius, what card you get for your full moon in your sign. This should be pretty awesome. Strawberry moon for you, of course. Let's see. Wisdom for Sagittarius. Wisdom for Sagittarius. Okay. Three of Pentacles. So Three of Pentacles, it's all about giving things the works. One thing with this card too is that when you get Three of Pentacles, something indeed has been done. Sure, it's not complete totally, but you get the framework in place and you've gotten a lot done already. But the Three of Pentacles also is about making sure you're giving things the works. It could also be about getting more people on your team, having people help you achieve your objectives. So teamwork makes the dream work. For the projects that you have going on, give them the works, right? Give them the works. And of course, note how much you have accomplished thus far, because this is the time for you to really bask in that glory for sure. Capricorn. So your strawberry full moon Capricorn is hitting your 12th house. So this is about letting go of subconscious beliefs that might be working against you. So unless we take control of our subconscious mind, somebody else is going to brainwash us. And this is what happens as children, right? We get brainwashed into being who it is our parents project upon us, stuff like that, right? So you need to utilize this full moon to release any kind of subconscious patterns, paradigms, belief systems that are working against you. It's time to reflect and heal old wounds. You might want to lay low under this Sagittarius full moon over the next 2 weeks from Saturday. You might want to relax and just process things, because we're getting ready for your full moon in your sign next month. So keep that in mind. However, you got Jupiter, planet of luck, growth, and expansion, hitting your 5th house of play, creativity, and romance. So you might be really wanting to cut a rug. And you also have Mars in your 8th. And this is pushing you to transform, to die, to metaphorically die, to let go of the old and invite the new. So it's a little bit of an emotional time for you, Capricorn, with this 12th house transit, the full moon shining a light on your subconscious and what subconscious beliefs you need to release in order to go to that next level, in order to break on through. And with Mars in your 8th, this is definitely a time in which you can let things go that no longer are working for you a lot more easily, because you got Mars there. Meanwhile, maybe look at how your rebirth is going to result in you having more fun and more romance and more love and more play, and perhaps even a child with Jupiter in your 5th. So let's see, Capricorn, some wisdom for you this full moon in Sagittarius. Wheel of Fortune again. So in light of your 12th house transit, what cycles are you repeating? If you're always in a job in which you hate your boss, this is on you, right? If you're always feeling as if you're falling in love with the wrong people and then they never show up for you, again, that is on you. This is a cycle, right? So consider what cycles or patterns you might be repeating and nip them, right? This is the Sagittarius full moon that's hitting your 12th. So we create our own reality. If there is something that keeps happening over and over again, you got to look in the mirror and say, okay, well, what do I believe about my life that is making this happen? This is a time in which you can release old cycles. You can tap into a new timeline. Okay, but you want to definitely identify the different cycles. Likewise, this could be a really great time of luck for you, expansion and growth. So do whatever it is that you can to definitely take a chance. Go out on a limb. It's a very lucky time, the Sagittarius full moon. So allow yourself to look at your opportunities and take a chance. Live a little. Go out on a limb. And the big thing is, I think in light of your 12th house and 8th house aspects, this is definitely a time of letting go of things that don't feel good, getting addicted to positive feeling emotions, because we all get addicted early in our lives to negative feeling emotions. And then we create situations that catalyze them because we like to return to the scene of the crime and we want to release that through catharsis. So we put ourselves in these precarious situations that are familiar. So you're going to make the familiar unfamiliar and the unfamiliar familiar. Make sense? And Aquarius, well, Aquarius, you and Sagittarius get along like peanut butter and chocolate. So this is a wonderful time for you. An 11th house transit. So it's all about your friends, your hopes, your dreams, your goals. And it's also time for you to connect with your community. It's really a good idea to do that. Connect with groups of people. We're always telepathically communicating with people. So if you're in the same room with a group of people who share your like-mindedness, who share your interests, you're going to be getting a lot of information. You're going to be getting a lot of knowledge. And obviously that's the name of your game. You're all about knowledge. Meanwhile, Jupiter in Taurus is touring your 4th house of home, family, and emotional security. So this is a time in which you might get a bigger home, or you might expand your home, or you might deepen your sense of self-trust. Meanwhile, you do have Mars in your 7th house. So your partners during this time, well, they're definitely fired up. This might be a time in which you may have to acquiesce a little bit with Mars in your 7th, right? With Mars in your 7th, your partners might be a lot more fiery, more assertive, more pugnacious. So you may want to acquiesce a little bit. Certainly be diplomatic, and allow yourself also, though, if you're looking for a partner or partners, well, with Mars in your 7th, you have a lot of fire that's going to help you go out and get them, right? Get those partners, right? So you might want to watch out, though, because your emotional security is expanding. It's a matter of you are in a bit of a sensitive time. So definitely make sure that you're giving yourself this space this year to develop and cultivate whatever makes you feel warm and yummy, right? Really happy and contented on the inside. Aquarius, let's see what card you get for your full moon in Sagittarius. Let's see. Interesting. So 7 of Swords comes up. This card is actually ruled by Aquarius. You know, with this card, it's all about diplomacy and even appeasement, which makes sense with Mars in your 7th house, right? In your opposite sign. So you want to make sure that you're softening things. You can say whatever it is that you want, as long as you're saying it with love. That's a really good rule of thumb. Also with the 7 of Swords, you might be in the process of planning something, maybe in light of this transit that you're going through. You have these hopes, dreams, wishes, and goals, and you're going to be planning that long-term strategy. So grab your swords or your ideas and make them work for you. Maybe come up with a long-term plan and hammer it out. That ought to be awesome. So it should be a great transit for you as well, Aquarius. And last but never least, Pisces, my little fishies. I love Pisces. So your strawberry moon, Pisces, is hitting your 10th house. It's a more of a professional focus for sure. So it's all about your career, your reputation, what you're known for. And if you don't have a professional life, if you're not working, well, you're still a big deal this full moon. It might be a matter of, again, your contribution as a parent, as a person in the community, as a friend, etc. So you want to reflect during this full moon on your career goals and make adjustments. You might, this might be a time where you're like, I don't like this job anymore. I can't deal with it. Meanwhile, Pisces, Jupiter is in your 3rd house of communication. So you're going to be a lot more chatty than usual. And Mars is in your 6th. And that's going to ignite your work life. The issue with the 3rd house Jupiter and Mars in your 6th is that you could run your mouth off, 3rd house Mars, at work, which could get you in trouble. So make sure in your day-to-day lifestyle, because you have Mars that's firing you up, make sure you don't say anything that could be offensive or that could put you in hot water with a higher up or a client, stuff like that. You just want to make sure that you're minding your P's and Q's. Have an outlet for your ideas and your expression, but make sure that it's safe for you to do that. For sure. It's also a really great time for you to combine those energies and start a workout regime or release something from your day-to-day regime that might be undermining your fitness goals. That could be cool. So let's see, Pisces. Wisdom for you for this full moon in Sagittarius. Wisdom, Sag, Pisces. Wisdom for Pisces. Knight of Cups. Well, this is your card because the knights have to do with the mutable signs. Cups are water. This is Pisces. So this is suggesting that you go after an emotional ideal. Like, what's the best case scenario that you could create in your life, especially pertaining to your career? What's the ideal scenario? Because this would be a full moon in which you can release anything that's in the way of you achieving that ideal. Otherwise, the Knight of Cups would suggest that you go out on a limb, that you allow yourself to experience, you know, those high flying feelings, right? What's going to give you that sense of ecstasy, right? Pisces, they're the most evolved sign of the zodiac. So you can really use your emotions to attract whatever you want. Emotion is energy in motion, and emotion is what we broadcast to create our reality. So with Knight of Cups, we can be extreme in terms of our emotion, but try to, if you're going to be extreme, to veer on the side of positive feeling emotions, because those emotions are what create your reality. So happy full moon, Pisces. And there you have it, folks. I do appreciate you sticking around with me for your full moon in Sagittarius Tarotscopes. You can actually check out your horoscopes, the written version of this, in the description below. And of course, if you're looking for personal guidance, well, check out my website, psychicsun.com. I give one-on-one readings. I do coaching. I have parties. I'm in LA, and also gift certificates for your summer birthday people. They would love a reading, most likely. And it's a game changer. It's a most practical reading gift that you can give, I think, in my opinion. And also tomorrow, folks, if you are into true crime, we'll definitely catch out the next Astrology of Crime, in which we'll be covering the Ramsey case. Very interesting indeed. And a link to that is in the description below as well. So again, thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful Sagittarius full moon. It's going to be really, really lucky. It's going to be great. And I shall see you soon. Take good care. Bye.